Hey guys, welcome back. It's Claytano. Thanks so much for tuning in as always. And today's video is going to be pretty casual beginner guide on how to get to 100,000 power. My goal for today is to spend about 15-20 minutes going over some basics and hopefully save you guys more time than you spend watching this video and resources and actually time spent playing this game, because maybe I'll show you guys some things that you didn't know beforehand. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the monster level up process. So if you guys go over to your monsters, you can kind of see how it all works. If you go into like Awakening, you're going to need your Essence of Magic, you're going to need Essence of Water. Good news is you don't have to worry about high, medium, and low essences. So don't worry about that. The one thing that I do get asked a lot on stream at twitch.tv/Claytano is Breath of Life. That seems to be what everybody can't get enough of. And realistically, the easiest way to get Breath of Life is by summoning. And then after you summon, you go to exchange pieces. You click on, 3-star. I found 3-star to be the most cost-effective way to actually get them. You increase, or actually you scroll down first. You click on the Breath of Life that you want. You can do this with any other, resources in the store here. But you go in, you say the amount that you want. Say I want, to get 80 Breath of Life. I just click on that, auto select. It'll give up my serpents, but overall 80 Breath of Life is going to progress my account through the game a lot faster than 80 serpent pieces is going to. And if you guys get a lot of summons throughout your journey, you're going to have a lot of Breath of Life. That's actually going to be the one thing that you're probably never going to need to get more of, because you'll just have as much as you need right here. So with that being said, going back into the Awakening, that's your Breath of Life. For your Essence of Water and Magic, you're going to get that through Chaos Dungeon right here. And you're only going to get a set number of entries per day. I think it's 6 for Chaos Dungeon. But I would say definitely go ahead and use your crystals, recharge them before you use your tickets. Unless you're farming level 10, then you can use your tickets. Same thing with your Path of Growth for runes. I'm not going to use mine until I actually get all the way up to level 15, because those are kind of gated as well. So you can only get so many of those before you need to start farming more. So for me, I'm just spending all my gems right now on the refreshes. I would say refresh as many times as you can. The nice thing about this game is that you can't continuously, unlimitedly refresh your crystals. So the more you're able to do that every single day, the farther and faster you're going to progress throughout the game. The game does a good job of giving you some free-to-play crystals, so you shouldn't have to worry about that too much right off the bat. Of course, things will kind of slow down after you beat the campaign, but for the most part, you're going to be wanting to use your refreshes every single day, because you need these essences, you need these runes, you need the resources that come from these dungeons in order to progress your monsters. So going back to your monsters, Awakening here, you obviously know how to get all of your resources now. Chaos Dungeon for essences, Breath of Life through exchange pieces or through quests. And then that's going to start up your units, so that's what's going to give you your extra skills here. And then moving down to evolve, and how do you evolve a monster. So let's take Galleon for example. You get your rainbowmon here. So obviously, we have Breath of Life. We know how to get those. But rainbowmon, how do we get more of them? Well, rainbowmon is something that I had a hard time figuring out where to go to get those. And it's actually super easy. For the most part, the game gives you quite a bit to start out. And you just click on this little book here. It's called your Guard Journal. Then scroll down to Arena Dungeon. Or Area Dungeon, sorry. And then you just go through each of these. So each of these different stories that you're completing throughout your, campaign mode is going to give you 2 5-star rainbowmons at the end of each of these. So as you can see, you have 2, 4, 6, 8 5-stars there, 2, 4, 6, and so on. And you can do that for every single one of the areas that you complete. The really cool thing, I actually can't finish the last boss here, so I'm still working on that last one, but everything else is complete for me. But the really cool thing about doing these area dungeons, if I click on this, is it actually gives you some really powerful runes right off the bat as well, and it's guaranteed to drop. These ones give like blue 5 stars and so on and so forth, but near the end of the the Rakungma area dungeon, you'll start getting purple 5 stars, which exponentially increases the power of your units. So for your evolution, that's what you're going to do. You're going to go there. You're going to get a ton of the 3-star rainbowmons. You're going to get a ton of 4-star rainbowmons as you progress throughout the campaign. And you're going to want to focus on just like 3 or 4 main units. The nice thing with the rainbowmon, though, is you can kind of level up these other units for free, especially like this one, Cilia. If you do, we'll get into that in a second. Let me just finish going over the evolution here for now. But yeah, so you go up from 50 to 60 to 65 and then 70. 70 is your max. That's going to give you a ton of power just getting up to the max. Of course, it's going to cost more rainbowmon to get up to 70. So you may want to stop and kind of have everybody at 65 first, or you may want to focus on one unit first. You'll probably be able to get like 2 to 3 5 stars max level 70 after you complete all of those area dungeons. Of course, you can use other, monster pieces. I wouldn't do that for your 5 stars, but for 3 stars, it's actually super, super easy. And especially with 2 stars as well, if you're planning on leveling those up. It's I would say nice to be able to use the monster pieces for whatever you want. But of course, the 2-star, 3-star rainbowmons aren't really going to be that hard to come by anyway either. Well, I guess you wouldn't have the 2 stars. It's only the 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars. Talking about skills though, for skills, this is pretty straightforward. You can either use Devilmon or you can use monster pieces. So it's really easy to get skill ups for like Konamiya, Shannon, 3 stars, 2 stars. You'll pretty much be able to max out their skills really, really easily, really quickly, because you'll just have a bunch of monster pieces for them. Like I have 2 skill ups here. Each skill up costs 20 monster pieces. But if we go back to, let's say, a 3-star like this fairy, I can skill up all of her skills to the max just because I have the monster pieces. So something to keep in mind when you're exchanging your monster pieces at the monster piece exchange. But skill ups are an insane way to get power extremely quickly. If you have the extra resources, I, for one, am using all of my Devilmons into Camila, and then I'm putting, as much as I can into skill ups. But of course, that's a pretty gated thing for 5 stars because you either need monster pieces or you need Devilmon. Quickly going back to Awakening, real quick. So on number 10, after you get to 5-star, it's gonna make your stars purple. But after you get to 10, you're actually going to need one of the exact same units pieces. So you can't use like Theomar's pieces or the Water Ifrit's pieces for Tessarian. It has to be that same unit. So one of the things to do for that is to actually go into your summoning here, so your summon altar. And if you go to, let's say, Mystical Scrolls, click on Altar's Blessing. If you put 5-star units in here, it's going to give you a better chance to actually have those monsters drop. So, for example, if you were to get a Light Dark Nat 5, you're going to want to put that in here because you're probably never going to summon that LD Nat 5 again. But it's going to give you a higher chance to actually summon. I think it's like a 10% chance if you do summon a Nat 5 for it to be one of the Nat 5s that are in your Altar's Blessing. Same thing with the 4 stars as well. And then after that, after you get it once, it resets every month. So it resets every 17 days. So you can pretty much get one of your Nat 5 skill ups every single month for each of them. So just something to keep in mind. I would say if you're first starting out and you don't have a whole lot of 5 stars yet, I would keep them off the Altar's Blessing so that way you can get more of an abundance and more of a, I guess a plethora of different 5 stars. So that way you're not just kind of limited to 1 or 2, just depending on what you summon. You might want to expand your horizons a little bit. So going back to monsters, we're going to take a look. We kind of finished off skills. Again, that's a huge way to get skill ups or power up is through skill ups. Your level, of course, you just want to max it out as soon as you're starring up your unit through Awakening. And evolution. Evolution is going to allow you to increase the level of your unit. So then you can come up here, level up. You're going to get, you know, a whole bunch of those different level up crystals. I don't know exactly what they're called here, but these things, you're going to get a ton of these. Just don't waste them on a whole bunch of other monsters. Again, focus on just 2 or 3, mainly 3 of them, right? 3 or 4. And then you can kind of determine what unit you want to use later on down the road. I, for one, actually built a Theomars. I thought I was going to use it, but it turns out I would prefer to have my team built around a Tessarian instead, just because of the way the elements kind of lined up. So that's pretty much it for monster growth. That's your main core of how all of that like base stuff works and how it's going to give you just a ton of power. For example, another good example is that Shannon, she has a ton of skill ups here. She's fully maxed out and she's at 48,000 power just because of that alone. Where Delphoy is not fully skilled up, also not level 65, and it's actually lower power than the Shannon is. So for example, if you were to look at the leaderboards, it's kind of interesting because the top ranked power in the leaderboards is all like fully skilled 2 stars, fully skilled 3 stars, and it's kind of a little cheesed, but that's just how it is. So the other thing too that you'll actually want to get as you're progressing through your campaign is like Celia, Ellen, and then there's a couple other ones that they actually give you for free through your monster story quests. And I think it's through here as well. Yep. So monster story, you'll come in here, you'll go over to the next page, and you'll actually have to do this for certain quests, but it'll actually allow you to, one, get the unit. So you get a free Mystic Witch, a free Amazon, and then during your adventure, I think it's under here, it's like a side quest campaign. So if you actually go under your quests, under area exploration, and you're filling out all of these, this is actually something that's, again, required to have completed for the campaign as well. We haven't defeated Pagor yet. It's a world boss, so everything's kind of gated right now on that because the server needs to be a certain level to actually kill it. It's pretty fun, but you'll actually have to get resources to level up those like wind mystic witches. It'll actually give it to you. So again, you can get like a free level 60 wind mystic witch, which is, again, great for your power, and also great to just have an extra monster lying around if you ever needed it. And that brings me to one thing, actually, that you need Mystic Witch for, which you guys will kind of run into if you haven't already, is in your quest line, there's probably one thing that you guys are all hung up on, and it might be chapter 51 or something in here where you have to kill this this boss that just destroys you, and it's the same boss as that's in your path of growth. It's this guy, Laboratory of Madness. So you need heal block, you need a strip, and those are something that green Mystic Witch will actually be good for. So you get it for free, use it against this Laboratory of Madness guy. It took me a couple tries to beat this boss because of that. So just make sure you guys get your Mystic Witch before you go into attempting that boss. All right, so let's move on from monster into your runes. Runes are going to be an extremely good way to power up. Just on runes alone, you could probably grow like another 30, 40,000 near the beginning. I would say only focus on on getting your runes to plus 12. Don't go all the way to 15 unless you know it's like a really, really good rune based on the substats that are going to be best for your character. For me, I kind of went through all of my chapter quests. I knew I wasn't going to get any more purple 5 stars until I was, clearing Karas Dungeon at a higher level. So for this one, I was like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and level these up to 15. But most of my runes are still not even plus 15. You can stop at plus 9, plus 12. just keep in mind that you're going to get a lot of power, a lot of extra power from powering up runes. Just be careful because, again, those resources are limited. And just to go over those resources real quick, if we were to enhance, you can see that you're getting these rune enhancement stones, you're getting these sky stones, and you get those from just disassembling your other runes that you have. So if you go into here, you click disassemble, you get 880, and it's pretty nice. It's a really good quality of life system. We don't have to spend, you know, a million gold on trying to level up runes and having it be really RNG based, like it was in Sky Arena. So that's pretty much it for runes, materials, monster pieces. That's about it there. There is the restore option. You'll get 2 of these, 3 of these throughout the game. And if you happen to level up a unit that you don't actually want leveled up anymore, you can always just yoink the resources. But just be careful. They're like a $50 thing if you do run out of them. And if you were to buy them again, it's like $50 to get one in the cash shop. So outside of that, you have your, let's see, your summoner. And so on your summoner, this one is really interesting because I've seen a lot of people leveling up their weapons or enhancing their weapons to plus 15 really early on, and you're going to get some really good gear. All of this gear I got through completing the campaign, and I did not have my weapons leveled up anywhere past 3. I actually had most of them just level 0 all the way through completing the campaign. So don't think that you have to go plus, plus 15, because these resources right here are actually pretty hard to come by. It's these green little magazine clip looking things, and you have a chance to break your weapon, not break your weapon, but like have to go increase your durability back again. So it's not something that I would really recommend kind of doing. Just don't waste your resources. I mean, obviously, if you get a good weapon or get good equipment, you can put it in there, but just be careful on those resources because they're a little bit hard to come by. The other thing that you want to take a look at is your repeatable quests. You guys can actually do this while you're sleeping. At the very end here at level 55 main character level, you will get one that you can do for Path of Growth tickets, which is really valuable in my opinion. But these cost 4 of these little guys every time you do it once. So of course I can only do it 102 times while I'm sleeping or while I'm at work or doing something else. I throw those on. I just don't want to waste them because I feel like, I don't know, I just don't want to waste them. So I don't like wasting resources in general. And then you got these things up here, yarn ball. You can use that for some like equipment later on in the game. But yeah, keep in mind, like, there's different rewards for all of these, and as you progress throughout the game, you'll unlock more and more different ones. So I didn't actually do any of these until I was up to this level to be able to farm this specific one. Again, I wanted to save my resources for something that actually I knew was going to give me the progression that I needed based on something that was gated behind, refreshing the Path of Growth. Makes sense? So you can go to Path of Training if you want to. I would probably recommend against using your entries on Path of Training. The reason why is because you can get stuff to level up your monsters through your side quest over here as well. It's literally right here, and you get 45 of them, and you don't have to waste one of your very precious refreshes or entries, your Path of Growth entries, on those things that aren't gonna progress you throughout the game. So I'm still working on getting up to plus 15 here. Lava Cave. Oh, the bonuses. So the bonuses give you double the runes. I know it doesn't really say it. I don't believe it says it, but whenever it says bonus, it's going to give you double the runes on your first 3 entries, or however many entries you have. I think it gives you 3 per day. You're going to get bonus on only those 3 entries. If you refresh through crystals, which I would recommend using crystals first, save these until you can actually get all the way up to level 15, because again, those are gated. These are resources that you're going to have a hard time getting to. So I still have 61 of them. I think I've used 2 of them, and I was like, oh, I don't want to actually get past that. So keep that in mind. The bonuses give you double rewards for the first 3 entries, and then you're going to want to save your gems because, again, getting runes is probably the best way to actually get your power up within the game. And then outside of that, is there really anything else? Those are the main things, guys. Obviously do your quests, your main quests, your storyline. Your profession isn't really going to do much for you, but it could be fun for some people. I wouldn't worry about that too much until after you've completed the campaign, because it is going to bring you through some of how to actually go about doing the professions. It's going to like force you to do them, and it's for me, I didn't really enjoy doing it, but it is what it is. Obviously, anytime you see a little red check mark here, you're going to want to click on that. But realistically, that's like the main things, guys, and you should be able to get to 100,000 power pretty easily. Those are the things that kind of held me back. I wasn't sure what to really spend my time on. I wasn't sure if I should awaken my units. Yes, definitely awaken the units that you're looking at using for long term. Some of those units are, you have Shannon, which is a really good free-to-play unit. You have Konamiya, which is a really good free-to-play unit. And I actually just used my ticket, my 4-star ticket on the Wind Griffin, which I don't see a whole lot of people using just yet, but that's a really good free-to-play unit as well. I would stick to these 2 for right now. And then you have your Nat 5 from Selective Summons. We went over that in another video. Make sure you guys check that one out if you're looking at which one to actually build for that. But for the most part, you should easily be 100,000 power at this point after kind of taking all these things into account. So hopefully I'm not leaving any of the main things out. Those are like the main things. Do your dailies on a daily basis. Really, like, don't forget that. That's the beginner guide, guys. I think I'll go into more in-depth tutorials on some of these different things, but for the most part, that's what you're looking at. If I forgot anything, leave a comment down below. I'll make a separate video on it, but for now, that's all for today. Thanks so much for watching. If I helped you guys out, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. I'm going to be making some Summoners World Chronicles videos, hopefully on a daily basis. We'll see, but outside of that, thanks guys. Stay sous vide, don't eat potatoes. I'll see you next time.